What's up, friends? This is Jazz bringing you another video game review. This one is on the game Stardew Valley. Now, before I get into it, guys, I'm trying to do this as a shorter review like I did in my old few reviews that you've seen, because it turned out a lot better than like 40-minute chonkers, right? So, I'm just gonna start by saying, overall, we'll just say it's a pretty decent game, right? Like, I think there are some glaring flaws, but I think its strongest point is both the gameplay and the characters. Like, the characters are just so memorable. Like, I think one of my favorite characters is Linus. I mean, my gosh, like, for someone who is what they call hopeless, he's very, what is it, sufficient for himself, and he's a really great, friendly guy. And as I said, he's one of those characters that you really want to take the time to befriend, because, oh my gosh, there's some very cute scenes, right? And the gameplay, well, there is so much variety in the gameplay that, like, there's fishing, mining, you know, farming, ranching, battling creatures in the mines, befriending villagers, which again is very important in this game. Each character has its own, like, story when you befriend them more. And I think one of my favorite characters is Gary's sister, Emily. And she just has this unique personality to herself. Like, she loves animals, she does things like, dancing, and she has, like, to me, this unique personality, right, that I just love. I mean, there's so many other characters, right, but as I said, there's just so many to talk about. And the story, though, I should get to the story, that way I can get to one or two more of the characters. The story is that you inherit your grandfather's farm, right? And he says not to open the deed until you feel like a burden on your life, that you just want something different. And when you do, you get his farm. And you move to Stardew Valley. And one other big aspect of the story is the community center, which you have to unlock by getting items for bundles, which you can get from, like, farming, from animals, mining, fishing, like a whole bunch, like crops, a whole bunch of different things. You need to do everything to unlock the community center, which encourages you to play a lot more, right? And there's a second path you could take, which is considered the bad path, that you go to Jojo Mart, which is the company you left, surprisingly, buy the membership, and once you buy that in the bundles, they pretty much take the community center, and, you know, that's considered a bad ending, I guess, but realistically, honestly, I think that's the good ending, to be fair. But you know what? The real ending they look for is for you to unlock the community center by completing the bundles, which could take a year with the new one if you play it right, but it could take a couple of game years, just depending on everything, right, and how slow or quick or efficient you are at it. Now, I am going to talk about one of my faults here in the gameplay, which again is more harshly my doing, but it's also on the game itself. The fishing mechanic. My gosh, guys. I don't think I am the only one with this opinion, because so many people hate that fishing minigame. Now, I should also go on here, I used mods in my playthrough. So this is, talk about the general experience that people would have, right, as well. But my experience was completely different than a lot of people who played it absolutely no to little mods, so keep that in mind. But everyone would agree that the fishing minigame was hell, right? Honestly, that would be the one mod people would encourage using, was to remove the game altogether. Now, what suggestion would I have for this problem? To add it as an option in the menu, do you want to skip the fishing mini game, right? That way you can click it on or off, so if you still want to play it, you can have it turned off. That way people don't have to rely on mods to give you that default feature. It's just a thought. I mean, I was not the only one who found this an issue. It's not even, like, I also struggled in the mind. This is more my fault. This isn't a default feeling for everyone. This is all on me because I suck at combat, right? It's preserving energy and all that, so that was all me. I needed mods for that, but that was my fault. Oh, like, all on Jazz here. So I don't have any real fault in the mind. Or any other part of the actual gameplay as it is. It's relatively fair, right? Like, I just have an ADHD-like brain, so I usually leave things to slow down a bit. But okay, I do have a little comparison here. This game, one thing I really love about the gameplay is that you constantly have something to do. You always have a goal in mind to play. Now, I have a comparison game here just to talk about what I mean about that. And guys, you're gonna some of you guys might boo me for this, but keep in mind, I do love this game. They just could have been executed better. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, and its original, A Wonderful Life. When you start off, the game is like push, 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 push. You have to do this. You have to do this. You have to do this. But by the 4th and 5th year, once you've done everything, unlocked all the facilities, have over $1 million, you don't have much to do to keep you sane until the last day, which is the 6th year of the 10th day of winter of the 6th year. Now, a lot of people consider that the end game, right? You know, the credits, the actual credits. So imagine you're done everything by the 4th year. Now, what do you think, how do you think that would feel? You would constantly have to slog just to get through each day. I mean, you could argumentatively sleep through the day, but really, I don't know what Takakura would think about that, or anyone else for that matter, so you have to at least do something, right? And you think about it, like, it's a day, like, you keep busy, right, in that game, but at the same time, it becomes almost a chore to play and not as fun anymore, where Stardew Valley, you always feel excitement from it when you're playing it. It gives you, like, what is it, the dopamine, or the adrenaline when you play it, because you always have a goal. It never feels boring, right? I mean, it's always exciting compared to the Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Again, I love the game, right? I think the characters are also memorable in that game. It's just, they could have executed what to do after the big slog happened better. Like, open up a new set of things to do, you know? The only thing I really have left to do in A Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, besides unlock the ending, is getting the blessed fishing rod, which I don't have time with all the forced chores I have to do. So you kind of see what I mean. You have to do stuff, but at the same time it becomes boring. Like, again, so far I believe Stardew Valley does not have this issue whatsoever. It keeps you busy. It keeps the adrenaline going. Sometimes too much. It can be very addictive, which again, you have to keep in mind on that. I was addicted to it for a long time. So, as I said, when it comes to that, it has an A+, and that way it keeps you busy. And the characters are really memorable. Like, there's one quest with the mayor that you have to get his underwear, and it seems like he's having a fling with jeez, I didn't say the names were Barney. Yes, I could remember the name right away. So there is a cute little side, story to that. But the only exception I have about the characters, your child. My gosh. We'll just say, guys, your child is as interesting as a sack of potatoes. Without mods, the child does nothing whatsoever. Now, I I mean, with all the effort put into all these other characters, what are the things that a player will look forward to the most? I said one of them. I know there's a lot of things players look forward to. To have a child with their spouse is nothing. Right? Nothing. I mean, again, I can understand that you can't have an individual child for every single player in the game. I know, I understand that. Because that would take way too many scenarios. But here's a bit of a fix. How about pick about 10 different cutscenes depending on the spouse you marry for your child. Maybe you'll get the interest of your spouse. They'll have some cutscenes based on that. Maybe your child will do like chores or something around the farm based on their personality that the spouse got. Or you'll see them doing some of the things the spouse likes to do. Actually get them to grow up a bit. They don't have to go off, get married, have kids, you know. They can end at a teenager maybe, but they could still do some of the farm work for you, again, based on what their interests are. Again, based off the spouse. Because you could never expect them to be based off yourself with the differences. That would be a good fix, a good compromise to not having to do all those scenarios to make each child individually unique. Anything is better than what we got. I'm sorry, that is my biggest gripe, honestly, in the game. I mean, I know no farm game has got to the point yet where you could do generations, you know, but at least the others, the kid was a bit more unique. In this game, everything else was done perfectly, almost, in my opinion. Except for this one flaw. Even the fishing mini game, you could argue, could be fun for some people. Frustrating, but fun. This, to me, is almost unexcusable. Maybe someday they'll have an actual update where they'll have new cutscenes and your child will be more unique. But honestly, I think that's why they added the witch feature to take away your children. Because you really honestly wouldn't notice they were gone. It'd be pretty much the same thing. You'd get the same amount out of having them gone than actually having them to begin with. I mean, oh, well, you could have two, but two, a boy and a girl. And they're about as different as, okay, their gender. They're like twins. They might as well have come together. Like, and they never age up, so they're always going to look the same age. Which is creepy. I'm sorry, and a child, that's creepy. Them not aging like this. Again, I'm sorry. This was a big rant on that, just with one topic, but my gosh, did I have to say it. How is the music and the visuals? I'd say for what was made by one person, it's an indie game, very well. I mean, it's no Breath of the Wild, but you know what? For what it is, I enjoy the graphics. Graphics is the word they're very charming, right? And when you think about it, it runs really smoothly. The engine runs really smoothly, so they probably did what they could in this situation. The audio and the music, I love when I do listen to it. Sometimes I don't, but when I do listen to it, it's such a relaxing tempo, and they do have one or two odd different ambiences and music for the situation, and they have different music for cutscenes for characters, and honestly, I think that they've done very well in that department as well. I think out of both, the audio is my favorite part out of the audio and graphics, but they both did very well. Again, not the strongest points. I think the strongest points are the gameplay and the characters, again, minus the children. And the story is okay for what it is, but guys, this game, I may have had to play mods to really enjoy my version of the game, but in that case, I could still experience what other people have got to experience without it. I loved the game. And honestly, guys, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10 because of the issue of the fishing game, mini game, and the child. Just kind of threw it off for me a little bit, but it's a near perfect game in my opinion. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, like what you see, please subscribe and help this channel a lot. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you know when new videos are coming out. And I'll see you guys in my next video.